What's good, everybody? It's your man Deshaun. Welcome back to another edition of the Wildcats and Then Some podcast. How y'all doing on this Monday evening? Now, it's been about 3, maybe 4 weeks since I last recorded, and a lot of shit has happened over these last few weeks. I mean, we saw Donald Trump encourage his supporters to commit an insurrection against the country. Kentucky has won some games, lost some games. We know who's going to be in the Super Bowl now. NBA season in full effect. A lot of shit to get through, but hey, I promise it'll be a good one. Now, again, unless you've been living under a rock for the last month or so, I mean, back on January 6th, Donald Trump and the MAGA clan, the Trump cult, Cult 45, whatever you want to call them, those motherfuckers committed insurrection against the United States of America. Now, I don't want to dive too deep into this. I mean, if you know me personally, if you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, any social media, you know exactly what my feelings are about Donald Trump. I mean, if you don't know, well, let me just break it down for you real quick. I don't like Donald Trump. I think he's a low-life piece of shit. I think Donald Trump is a living, breathing representation of every negative stereotype that foreigners have of Americans. Seriously, think about it. Think of all the negative stereotypes that foreign people have of Americans. Fat, stupid, lazy, incompetent, racist, sexist, homophobic. He thinks money can buy him out of any situation. Takes no personal accountability. No, I already said incompetent. There was another one. I mean, it's right there on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think of it. But anyways, yes. If you seriously look and study Donald Trump, he is all of those things. Fat. You can tell just by looking at him. He's fat, stupid, incompetent, lazy, racist, sexist, homophobic, doesn't take personal responsibility, thinks money can buy him out of any situation. Oh, hypocritical. That was the other one. Yeah. You take all those negative stereotypes and roll them up into one person. That one person is Donald Trump. The fact that people still support that dude is it's surprising, but it's not surprising. I mean, really, the only reason y'all like them is because the only reason y'all like Donald Trump is because he's a champion for white supremacy. Or maybe it's because y'all look at him and you see the kind of person you want to be. I don't know, but I don't understand why anybody would want to be like that low-life scumbag, but whatever. I mean, Donald Trump, yeah, now although Donald Trump wasn't out there himself, he did encourage his supporters to go storm the U.S. Capitol. Now, again, just because he wasn't out there don't mean he can't take responsibility for it. I mean, Bin Laden was not on the airplanes, but our military still went after his ass. So yeah, Trump is definitely responsible for what happened. I don't care if you disagree. I mean, you're wrong. He's responsible. One of the points that I want to make here is this. If you still support Donald Trump after his supporters they attempted an insurrection, if you still support him, you are a traitor to this country. I don't care if I hurt your feelings, piss you off, whatever. You are a traitor to this country. Donald Trump's a traitor. Anybody who still supports him is a traitor. So if you still support Donald Trump, you should be ashamed of yourself. Another point I wanted to make is the hypocrisy of Donald and the MAGA clan, or another pet name I have for him is Cult 45, because the motherfuckers are cultist. I said it back in November when Joe Biden won the election. I was like, hey, if y'all still support Donald Trump, you might want to hop off the bandwagon while you can, because some of y'all Trump supporters are batshit crazy, and it showed on January 6th. But yeah, anyways, yeah, if you still support Donald Trump, you're a fucking hypocrite too. You know, it's funny to me how people, mainly white people, like Now, before I go any further, I'm not saying all white people are bad. I know a lot of white people who are cool as fuck, but the ones who support Donald Trump, most of y'all just fucking racist and crazy. I mean, no ifs or buts about it. Hey, y'all, for months, a lot of y'all Trump supporters were talking about, oh, Blue Lives Matter, back the boys in blue. But then on January 6th, y'all Trump supporters took the American flag and beat the shit out of a police officer. Oh, that's another point I wanted to make about how y'all some hypocrites. Y'all Trump supporters, y'all over here talking all this, y'all talked shit about Colin Kaepernick for years, saying, oh, he doesn't respect our country. He doesn't respect the flag. But then you took the American flag and beat the shit out of a police officer. Yeah, that police officer's dead. A couple of other police officers committed suicide. But yeah, y'all want to talk about back the blue. Like, y'all some... I mean, if I ever hear another Trump supporter say Blue Lives Matter, I'm just gonna call you a fucking hypocrite. Because you really are one. And the other point that really gets me about y'all Trumpers is that, yeah, like I said about Donald Trump, he don't like taking personal accountability for any of his fuck-ups. Y'all the same exact way. Like, when the insurrection happened, I saw a lot of Trump supporters on social media, mainly Facebook and Twitter, talking about, oh, that wasn't Trump supporters, that was Antifa dressed up like Trump supporters. Like, who the fuck you think I am, Boo Boo the Fool? First of all, Antifa is not even a real organization. Antifa is an ideology, short for anti-fascist. And if you are anti-fascist, you shouldn't support Donald Trump. But apparently, I guess y'all not anti-fascist because y'all motherfuckers still support him. I mean, look, Joe Biden ain't the guy I wanted either, but I tell you what, I mean, I bet everything I have that if Joe Biden was to lose the election, he wouldn't have encouraged his supporters to go and storm the U.S. Capitol. I mean, Mitt Romney didn't encourage his supporters to overthrow the government when he lost to Obama. John McCain didn't do it. Al Gore didn't do it when he lost to Bush. John Kerry didn't do it. But, oh man, it's just funny. Like, especially when Trump supporters talk about, oh, but there's good and bad people on both sides. Shut up. This isn't even about Democrats versus Republicans. It's about real Americans versus y'all Trump cultists. Yes, there are good and bad on both sides, but only one side stormed the U.S. Capitol and tried to commit only one side stormed the U.S. Capitol and attempted an insurrection. It wasn't Democrats. It wasn't Republicans. It was y'all motherfuckers. So miss me with that bullshit about how, oh, there's good and bad on both sides. Shut up. And another thing that really gets me is, yeah, there was this, Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, that confused motherfucker. You are Afro-Latino, and you support, and you're running a white supremacist terrorist group. Why? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, and he's a snitch. He's been working for the FBI for years. And yeah, there was another. Well, he's not with the Proud Boys, but I can't remember if it was from Forbes or if it was from Complex, but I was reading an article on Facebook about this black guy named Emmanuel Jackson. He was being held without bail because he was one of the people who stormed the U.S. Capitol. You know, I can't feel sorry for you. I mean, I really don't feel sorry for any of y'all who stormed the Capitol and got arrested. Especially that domestic terrorist, Ashley Babbitt. Like, everybody wants to say, oh, she was a veteran. Oh, she deserves to be honored. No, fuck her. She decided to commit treason against her own country. So call her a fucking terrorist, because that's what she is. But anyways, back to Emmanuel Jackson. This dude... Now, many of these Trumpers who were arrested, a lot of them been released on bail. Yeah, like the MAGA shaman guy who had the horn helmet and the red and blue face paint. Yeah, he tried to say, "Oh, Donald Trump. I only did this because I thought Donald Trump would get me out of jail if I get busted." Dummy. But yeah, Emmanuel Jackson, you a black Trump supporter, participated in the insurrection, and you're being held without bail. Like, the fuck were you thinking? Seriously, the fuck was he thinking? Like, just because you support Donald Trump doesn't mean you were gonna get away scot-free if the insurrection failed. You ain't white, bro. You are not white. You black, Negro. The U.S. justice system don't care about us. Did you really think you was gonna get bailed out? Like, I'm sorry. I don't feel bad for you at all, or any of the Trump supporters who got busted in the insurrection, especially the dude that lost his job. Like, really? If you're gonna commit treason against the United States, don't wear your fucking work lanyard, because that just makes it easier to identify you. Like, it's just, the whole thing was a fucking mess. Again, Joe Biden's not the guy I wanted, but I mean, it feels good to have a president who isn't a fucking wannabe dictator. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about that. So moving on, yeah, Kentucky, we didn't play Saturday against Texas, and the game was postponed due to the coronavirus. Is it gonna be rescheduled? I don't know, but it's probably a good thing that it got canceled, because the truth of the matter is Kentucky sucks. Really, we do. Now, I'm always going to be a Kentucky Wildcats fan, no matter how good or bad we are, no matter how negative some of our fans are. But we suck. 5-10. I think we're like, I don't know what our SEC record is, but overall we're 5-10. We won our first game of the year against Morehead State. And then we lost 6 games in a row before we finally won again. We lost to Louisville, which is only the second time since Calipari became our coach that we've lost to Louisville. Now, I would say 3, but the first time they beat us, I mean, that was during the year when Louisville won the championship, but then it got vacated, so it don't count. But yeah, we're terrible. I mean, 5-10, like, I would have expected this from Billy Gillispie, but not John Calipari. Like, I don't know. I'm not jumping on the whole fire Calipari bandwagon. I'm not subscribing to this idea that he can't coach, because I mean, you don't win. He's got over 700 wins for his career. You don't win 700 games if you can't coach. I mean, but I just don't know what the hell is going on this year. Like, first game of the year, we looked great against Morehead State. We beat them pretty easily. We played good defense. We took good shots. We made those shots. And then we just went to shit. Lost 6 games in a row before we finally won again. We went on a 3-game winning streak. We beat, I know we beat Mississippi State. We beat Florida. And somebody else in the SEC. I can't remember who, but we won 3 games in a row. That put us at 4-6. And at that point, yeah, after we beat Florida, I was thinking, all right, cool. We about to turn the season around. We've got the ship sailing in the right direction now. We good. Nope. Then we lost. I think we lost 3 or 4 games in a row. Now we did. Yeah, we lost to Alabama twice over these last couple weeks. We beat LSU. I think we beat LSU. That was our 5th win, I think. I don't know, but overall, yeah, we suck. I mean, it's been a really bad season. A lot of the things that Calipari has done this season have made me scratch my head. I mean, it makes me wonder, like this is the first time. Yeah, Calipari's been in Kentucky for 12 years now. This is the first time in those 12 years I'm just scratching my head like, dude, what are you doing? Like, okay, maybe it ain't the first time, but this year it's just like, I really don't understand some of the things that he does at all. I mean, we ain't got shooters except for Dante Allen. We don't play good defense. We don't as a team or individually. Don't have a point guard who can facilitate the offense. Like we've just been terrible. Like I don't know what the problem is. I mean, it might be a combination of different things. I mean, number one, maybe the players that we brought in are not as good as their ranking suggests. Like BJ Boston, he was number 4 in his high school senior class, and I can't for the life of me figure out why he can't finish. I mean, he can beat anybody off the dribble, but he just has a hard time finishing at the rim. Terrence Clark, he's missed the last 7 games, I think, because of injury. I mean, I don't even know if he's going to come back this year. I mean, he's probably saving himself for the NBA by now. But yeah, when Terrence Clark was healthy, he showed some flashes of brilliance, but no consistent flashes, you know what I mean? Olivier Sarr, I thought he would have been better. I mean, he made the All-ACC third team last year, so I thought, shit, I mean, SEC should be nothing for him then, because the ACC is arguably the best conference in basketball. But Olivier can't even get it done against SEC competition. Davian Mintz, I mean, he grad student transfer from Creighton. They're in the Big East. I'm thinking, okay, I mean, he's used to playing against good competition, so he's going to come in here and do good for us. But he hasn't. He's been up and down, you know, like a windshield wiper. I mean, he's had his ups, he's had his downs, but yeah, Davian Mintz is probably the only bright spot on the team other than Dante Allen, which, speaking of which, I mean, he's a great shooter. I mean, I know he's not the best defender. I know he's not good at knocking down shots off the dribble, but shit, draw up some plays, coach, to get him open. That's what you get paid to do. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you've been a head coach. Of course, I'm talking about Calipari, so y'all don't get lost here. You've been a coach on the collegiate level for 30 years. You should know how to make adjustments. You should know the X's and O's. You should know how to adjust your playbook to suit your players' strengths. But for whatever reason, he can't do it. I don't know. Now, again, like I said, I'm not subscribing to this idea that he can't coach. Nor am I jumping on the Fire Calipari bandwagon. Like, he's been at UK for 12 years now. He's been here for 12 years. We made it to the NCAA tournament most of the time he's been here. We've won a championship. We've been a runner-up. We've been to the Final Four. I mean, he deserves to have at least one off season. Now, this year, I'm not going to hold this year against him. I'll give him a pass this year because of COVID. But if John Calipari has another bad season like this, then yeah, he got to go. Like, you can't have a season like this again. I mean, you get paid almost $10 million a year. Like, this can't happen. Now, I'm not saying Kentucky needs to win the championship every year, because that's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. But 5-10 with very few games left in the season, that's unacceptable, bro. Like, you need to do something different, John Calipari. Play Cameron Fletcher. I mean, we suck. What the fuck do we have to lose? Excuse my language, but we have nothing to lose at this point. So why not play Cameron Fletcher? You know, I can't remember if I mentioned him on my last podcast or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cameron Fletcher decided to transfer. I mean, if I was a high school basketball player ranked in the top 100 and a coach, it ain't gotta be Calipari, it can be any coach. He comes to my house saying, "Oh, you come play for me, I can get you to the NBA." And I come to your school like, "All right, cool." But then when I get here, you won't let me play. I'd be upset too. Seriously. And if now there have been rumors floating around that Dante Allen might transfer after this season too, which, I mean, I don't know how true they are, but if Cameron Fletcher and Dante Allen were to decide to transfer, I would not blame them at all. Calipari if it's obvious he plays favorites, but this season is not the season to play favorites. You're 5-10. You gotta do what's best for the team, not what's best for the individual. Like, stop playing favorites. Devin Askew is not it. He's not good. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying he can't get better, but right now he sucks. BJ Boston is not that good. Like, you gotta do something to right the ship. If you want to make the tournament, you gotta do something different. But again, I wouldn't be mad if Cameron Fletcher and Dante Allen decide to transfer, because, hey, then if they make one little mistake, Calipari's like, get your ass on the bench, and then he don't play them the rest of the game. But hey, again, I wouldn't blame him. What's his face? Jamal Baker, he left Kentucky, transferred to Arizona. He's balling. And Johnny Juzang, he left Kentucky to go play for UCLA. He's not great, but he's had some flashes of brilliance during his time this year at UCLA. Kyle Wiltjer. He helped us win the championship back in 2012. He came back his sophomore year and was coming off the bench, so he decided to leave for Gonzaga. It worked out great for him. He won the West Coast Conference Player of the Year. He led Gonzaga to the tournament. He didn't make it to the NBA, but he is playing overseas, making money, so it's better than nothing. What's that other guy? Ryan Harrow transferred from Kentucky, went to Georgia State, played great. Now, I believe he's playing overseas, but not for sure. But yeah, it's no surprise that when our players leave, typically they do better. Now, granted, Sasha Kalia Jones, he really didn't. He transferred to Kentucky. He transferred from Kentucky into NC State, but he never actually played a game for him. Charles Matthews transferred from Kentucky to Michigan. He helped them get to the championship. I'm not sure what he's doing right now, but he did great during his time at Michigan. So, as long as Dante Allen doesn't transfer to like Duke or North Carolina or Louisville, I'd be happy for him. Same with Cameron Fletcher. Fletcher can't be that bad. Shit. It wasn't Kentucky that just recruited him. Michigan State wanted him. Creighton wanted him. I believe North Carolina wanted him, and some other school that's kind of good wanted him too. But for whatever reason, he can't get more than 2 minutes of playing time for Kentucky. But yeah, hopefully next season will be better. Hopefully the racist Kentucky fans who don't like it when black athletes stand up for what's right will get the fuck off the bandwagon and go root for somebody else. Yeah, it's like this year more than ever, I see why other people don't like Kentucky fans, because half of our fan base is racist as fuck. Like, when we kneeled against Florida, that's a lot of Kentucky fans are like, oh, I'm never going to watch Kentucky again. But those same people are still coming to every damn story about Kentucky to give their 2 cents. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you commenting? You don't watch Kentucky no more, remember? You're done. Like, to all the racist Kentucky fans out there, we don't want you. Big Blue Nation does not want you. Get the fuck on. Go root for somebody else. Or just stop watching basketball altogether. Because there ain't no room for your racist bullshit. Like, it's just, I don't know. I understand why Louisville fans and Duke fans and North Carolina fans don't like Kentucky. Now, I don't know. Maybe some of their fans are the same way. I don't know. But, I don't think I've ever seen a more racist group of sports fans than some of our fans at Kentucky. Now, of course, it ain't just Kentucky. Some Alabama fans felt the same way when Alabama's football team participated in Black Lives Matter marches over the offseason. But the thing that just grinds my gears about it is their play on the court has nothing to do with social justice. But y'all keep spitting that bullshit like that's what's making them play bad. Like, shut up. That ain't got nothing to do with it. I mean, if you're racist, just fucking say so and stop rooting for the team, because we don't want you. Alright? So get the fuck on, racist. Anyways, enough about Kentucky, enough about racist fans. Moving on. Yeah. We know who's going to be in the Super Bowl now. It's going to be Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, my prediction during the preseason was Chiefs Saints. Or maybe it was Chiefs Packers. I don't know. But I got it halfway right. I mean, who do I think will win? I don't know. It's Mahomes, in my personal opinion, the best quarterback in the game. And he'll probably hold that title for the next 10 years. I don't know. But Buccaneers got Tom Brady. As much as I dislike Tom from his time with the Patriots, it's not smart to bet against Tom Brady. I mean, he's the GOAT. Well, at the quarterback position at least. Now, me personally, I mean, I wouldn't pick a quarterback to be the greatest football player of all time, because a quarterback's success and failure rate is totally dependent on the team around him. Because hell, I mean, a running back can still be great even if he has a terrible offensive line. A receiver can still be great even if he has the worst quarterback ever thrown on the ball. But a quarterback is not going to have any success if he don't have a good line to block for him, if he don't have a good defense to hold the opposition, if he doesn't have good enough running backs and receivers to move the ball down the field. But yeah, as far as the quarterback position goes, yeah, Brady's the greatest of all time, without question. Even if the Buccaneers lose the Super Bowl, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, point blank, period. I mean, even if you don't like Tom Brady, you gotta admit the man's the GOAT. I mean, if you can't admit that he's the greatest, man, you just a hater. Like, yeah, I don't like Brady myself, but it's better to appreciate than to hate. Because once Brady's gone, we will never see another quarterback like Tom Brady. Yeah, he may not be a once-in-a-generation type talent. He may not have the strongest arm. He may not be mobile, but dude's a winner. That's all you can ask for out of a quarterback, is that they help you win. Now, granted, yes, I do think quarterbacks get too much credit when the team wins. I also think they get too much blame when the team loses. But Tom Brady's just great. And again, it's not smart to bet against Tom Brady. Now, I mean, I'll be happy regardless of whatever team wins. I mean, I'm a Titans fan. Yeah, Ravens got beat. None of our division rivals are in the Super Bowl, so I'm cool. If the Chiefs win, cool. If the Bucs win, cool. But I mean, I think it'll be an interesting game. If the Buccaneers win, it'll be Tom Brady's 7th Super Bowl ring. And on top of that, it'll also be, it'll be the first time a team won the championship. Excuse me, I lost my train of thought here, sorry. If the Buccaneers win the Super Bowl, it'll be the first time a Super Bowl winning team has won on their own field. Because the Super Bowl is in Tampa. It's going to be an interesting one. I think it'll come down to who can get the most defensive stops. Now, Tom Brady, we saw in the NFC Championship game, Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions, but the Packers weren't able to capitalize on it. If the Chiefs can fluster Tom Brady, if they can frustrate him, force him into some mistakes, and build a big lead, yeah, they might be able to pull it off. But if it's a shootout, I think the Buccaneers might win. If the Chiefs can get some defensive stops, I think the Chiefs will win. But overall, it's going to be a good game. And, you know, some more NFL news. The Rams traded Jared Goff and some draft picks for Matthew Stafford. Now, I don't know. To me, the trade seemed kind of random, but I think the Rams got the better of the trade for a couple of reasons. Number one, they got rid of Jared Goff's salary. Number two, they got to upgrade at quarterback in Matt Stafford. Now, of course, Stafford is not he's not the best quarterback in the game, but he is pretty good. I mean, I'd put him ahead of Jared Goff. I mean, for years he's been stuck in Detroit. Now he's on a team that has a great defense. They've got good enough receivers. If they can just improve their running game a little bit, shoot, Rams might be in the Super Bowl next year, or at least a contender for the conference title. Because, I mean, Stafford's good. Now, although he doesn't have a lot of playoff experience, I mean, he's now on a complete team, unlike when he was in Detroit. Goff, I mean, he might do all right in Detroit, but I just don't think Detroit is gonna make a difference next year in the playoffs, or in the playoff picture. I mean, they might win 6 or 7 games, but they're not gonna make the playoffs. But yeah, now a lot of people think the Lions got the better of this because they got the draft picks, but draft picks can be overvalued. I mean, draft picks, they don't always pan out. I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I think this worked out better for the Rams. But, I mean, time will tell. I don't know. Enough about the NFL. The NBA is back in full effect. After weeks and weeks of speculation, James Harden finally got traded from Houston. He ended up going to Brooklyn. Now, it was a big-ass trade. It involved 4 teams. Brooklyn got James Harden. Houston got draft picks plus Karis LeVert. But then they traded Karis LeVert to the Pacers for Victor Oladipo. And the Cavaliers got Jared Allen and Taurean Prince, who also played for Brooklyn. I mean, so far this trade has worked out well for all 4 of the parties involved. But Brooklyn, before they traded for Harden, they was my pick to win the East. I still think they can win the East, but they're not going to win the championship without some kind of defense. Yeah, I mean, they can score. We know they can score. I mean, just the other night, they scored, I think, 146 points, but they got beat by the Wizards of all teams. They lost 149 to 146. We know they can score, but they don't play a lick of defense. And that's going to hurt them, especially come the playoffs. I mean, I still think they can win the East, but if the finals does end up being Lakers and Nets, they're not going to beat the Lakers. I mean, yeah, you might be able to score all them points, but the Lakers can score too, and they're better than you defensively. Now, of course, they're still, I mean, we're only like a quarter into the season, maybe. So, excuse me, there's still time to improve. Now, my personal opinion, Brooklyn didn't need Harden. Offense was not an issue for the Nets. It wasn't going to be an issue for the Nets. Even without Harden, they would have been able to score bukus of points. They needed defense. Like, seriously. They probably should have went after, I don't know, they probably should have signed Jay Crowder during the offseason. I mean, although Crowder's not going to give you a lot of points, I mean, he is a good three-point shooter. He is a good defender, especially on the perimeter. They need some kind of defense because, yeah, you don't have Jared Allen no more, and he was your best defender. Now, I mean, if DeAndre Jordan, if he was still in his prime, yeah, that'd be great. But Jordan's old now. Well, okay, he ain't that old. I think he's like 33, but DeAndre Jordan, he ain't in his prime no more. He's not the defensive force that he was with the Clippers. So, yeah, they are sorely missing Jared Allen. Houston, yeah, surprisingly. Well, okay, maybe it's not surprising, but Houston's doing all right without Harden. They've got John Wall, who's, although he hasn't played every game for Houston, when he has played, he's looked good. Oladipo has played well for him. They got all these draft picks in the future that may or may not pan out. They got Christian Wood, who right now, I would say, if the season ended today, Christian Wood would be my pick for most improved player. I think he's averaging like 24 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, close to 2 blocks, I don't know, but he good. He kind of, to me, he's like a diet Anthony Davis. I mean, good scorer, he can score in the post, good shooter. He's just not on the same level as AD defensively. That's why I call him Diet Anthony Davis. Yeah, again, my pick for most improved player. Yeah, Karis LeVert, this trade ended up being a blessing in disguise for him, because if he didn't get traded, yeah, that cancerous tumor that was found on his kidney, it wouldn't have been discovered till the off season. Because in order for that trade to be completed, LeVert had to take a physical, and that's how they found the tumor on his kidney. Now, he's had surgery. Thankfully, it's been removed. I don't know when he'll be back on the court, but I mean, LeVert, I do think he's a star in the making, and he'll be great for the Pacers whenever he takes the court for them, whether it's sometime later this year or next year. I don't know. But yeah, Lakers, no surprise there. They're great. I mean, they do need a little bit of help. They need to get a big man who is agile, somebody who can protect the rim and defend a little bit on the perimeter. Because Marc Gasol, although he's a smart basketball player, he is old and slow. He's not the same player that he once was in Memphis. But if the Lakers can get a big man who can block some shots, a big man who can get up and down the floor pretty quickly, oh yeah, it's no question about it. Lakers are definitely going to win. Now, I mean, I still think with what they got, they can win the roster, but it'll be a little bit harder with AD being your only rim protector. Dallas Mavericks, that's my squad. I mean, we're surprising, but in a bad way. Our record currently is 8-12. Now, yeah, Kristaps Porzingis, he was out for like the first month of the season, but we got him back now. We just need our team to be healthy. Porzingis missed the first month. Josh Richardson was out due to the COVID protocols, I believe. And yeah, Luka's just been balling by himself. But now that we got everybody healthy, hopefully we can start winning. Because if the season ended right now, we wouldn't be in the playoffs. But I think we'll start winning. I think we'll get back in the playoff picture and make it to the playoffs. But yeah, we're not going to challenge the Lakers for the West, at least not this year. I do believe Dallas I do believe Luka will lead us to a championship one day, but we just need a couple more pieces. Number one, we need a perimeter defender. We need a 3-and-D player. Somebody who can hit the threes when he's open, and somebody who can defend the perimeter at a high rate. And we need another rim protector. I mean, yeah, Porzingis, yeah, he can block shots here and there, but I think he'd be better suited playing the power forward. We get a real center, I don't know, say Andre Drummond. Get somebody like Andre Drummond, get a 3-and-D player. We could be a for real contender for the championship, but it's not going to happen this year. Maybe in a couple years down the line, I don't know, but or not. I mean, shoot. LeBron is probably going to be, the Lakers are probably going to be win the championship until LeBron can't play at a high level no more, because they're just too damn good. Yeah, and LeBron, speaking of LeBron, I mean, he's got 4 rings now, and with another one, hell, that'll put him at 5. I mean, I do believe when it's all said and done, LeBron James will be, he might be 1B to Jordan 1A as far as the greatest players of all time goes. Now, I don't know. I mean, I love sports. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm very passionate about sports, but I mean, kind of losing that passion, because nowadays you can't even talk about sports about somebody without fans saying, "Oh, somebody's trash." Like, come on now. Well, I don't care what you think about LeBron. I don't care if you don't think he's the greatest player of all time. But if you think he's a bum, if you think he's trash, like just shut up and stop talking. Because you are fucking stupid if you think LeBron is a bum. I mean, like him or not, if LeBron was such a bum, like some of y'all try to say he is, he wouldn't be in the GOAT conversation. If LeBron was such a bum, he wouldn't be the best player in the game. If LeBron was such a bum, y'all wouldn't be talking about him 24/7. Because shoot, I mean, I don't watch ESPN as much as I used to, but they don't talk about average players on a day-to-day basis. They only talk about the great players, like LeBron, Brady, Jordan when he was playing, Kobe when he was playing. Rest in peace. So he been doing something right. I mean, you ain't gotta like him. I mean, if you don't like him because he joins different teams, okay, so what? So be it. That's fine. If you don't like LeBron because you don't think he can challenge Jordan, okay. But if you call him a bum, then you just fucking dumb. But anyways, y'all, enough about that. Hope y'all enjoyed the podcast. Y'all be safe, especially if you got some snow over the weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night. I'm out.